Hi, everybody. Welcome back to It's Not the 6 o'clock News. We're the happy people here on this show. And was meant to be interviewing Caroline Williamson this week. She was going to be talking about business strategies, whether you're starting business or whether you already have one, and how to move forward with 5 dynamic strategies. But she had to postpone, so she'll be on next week, so you can come back then and join us then. So today I have invited some people who wanted to get a free psychic reading, and I will be doing this until the end of August just to make sure COVID's over by then, the last Friday of every month. So you can email me, Natasha at natasharosewood.com, with a question. Let us have your email address, and you can either come on the show or you can just join. And we've got Gary Walters on already. Hi, Gary. Got to give you a call. It's been a while. I'm very excited today to talk about a very big topic, and it's called feeling stuck. And let's intuit your new dream. And as we go through COVID, it's been kind of interesting to me to see how people have reacted. I'm sure you've met people, or maybe you are one of those people that says, oh, it's just a hoax. You know, the media are making a big deal of it, or it's a conspiracy theory. And or you're thinking, wow, this is Mother Earth protesting and saying we've all been sent to our room to have an attitude adjustment. And it's a gift of slowing down, stopping our busy routine, giving us time to think, and what I call pause and reset. But for some people, while this is a gift, for some people, it's very terrifying and they find themselves in a little bit of a void. Things have ended, but there's been no new beginning. And I've done actually a few videos on this topic. If you want more information, you can go to my YouTube, natasharosewood.com, and find more information there. But today I'm going to be reading some people who, some friends and clients and new friends who do have a question about their own lives, what's going to happen. So I think I'm going to start with Peggy here, Michael, if you can bring her up. Hi, Peggy.
Hello.
Thank you for coming on. I know you came on at short notice. So what would your question be today that you'd like to ask me? And I'll see what I can pick up for you.
So, just coming out of COVID with being a business owner and how to navigate all the changes that are happening in the world and then within a small business as well. So, I operate a massage therapy lymphatic drainage business, and
Mhm.
yeah, it's a lot of hands-on and things. So, people are a bit leery
Mhm.
about that and how that
Right.
looks for them moving forward too as a client.
Well, it's kind of interesting with you because I do see you stay in the same business, and a lot of people are doing this, slightly adjusting it. Now, have you thought about, I don't know how difficult this would be, but have you thought about online training to either to the clients themselves or to other people that want to do what you do? Have you had any
Yep.
thoughts about that? Because I'm seeing you kind of setting up, being in front of the big screen, and and also I feel like a book that goes with it, maybe a manual or workbook. I know for myself, I'm a consultant, and normally when I see people in person, it's very hands-on, so I'm reluctant to start that again as well. And I'm offering Zoom sessions, but I'm also going to be starting an online course. So I feel like, do you consider yourself to be a little bit of a teacher? Do you
Uh,
enjoy training or teaching people?
mhm.
Yeah, because I think this is going to open up as I mean, this too shall pass. We're not going to have this going on forever. My intuition is that in some form or another, by October this year, I feel it'll be done. I was told before Christmas, and I'm hoping if we all are very careful, that will be the case. If we're not, it's going to be a different outcome, of course. But I feel that you're going to, I want to say around June or July, that which is not very far away. We're in June already. Keep forgetting that. In the summertime, I feel you kind of having an idea. And I don't know if you go camping with your family, do you at all? I see you in the trees. Yeah. And do you have 2 boys? Are there 2 boys?
I have two girls and one boy.
Two girls.
Hmm.
Oh, and a boy. Okay. There's something about the boy, your son, unless it's one of the boyfriend. How old are the girls?
14 and 11.
Yeah, so they're not really in the age group for boyfriends yet.
No.
So I'm going to say it's your son. You're going to be your son. And there's something kind of special about him. And I feel, I don't know if it's, out of the mouths of babes sometimes. He's going to say, Mom, why don't you do this? You go, oh my God, that's brilliant. So it feels like you're still in the same business. They don't want you to give up at all. And do you do Reiki in your business? Is that part of what you do as well?
Yes.
Yeah, because when you do Reiki, you're channeling, and I feel like you're going to get, and we all are as healers. The healers I feel are the light workers, and we're going to be coming to the forefront. I almost want to say we're going to be running the show more, much more, because we are leading edge. We understand energy and light and what it takes to heal, and we're leading humanity forward, I feel. And I feel that you're going to be guided and get messages about that. So I I wouldn't say that you're stuck at all. I would relax into this. And the
Okay.
first thing I did when this came up, I could have said, "Oh my God, what about my business and what's going to happen?" And I just got this huge message: just just chill, Natasha, relax, work on your writing. I'm just finishing my fifth book, right? I'm going to work on my screenplay and then my online course. So I'm actually very content to have this time. And I think up until I want to say the third week in July for you, you can just like, well, I'll just la di da di da di da and enjoy this time with your kids, because when you do begin working on this course, and I feel like there's three aspects to it. So one could be the manual of the book, one could be the teaching the clients how to they can massage themselves, and the other one is maybe teaching other people who want to become healers.
Okay.
Does that make any sense to you at all?
It does. Yeah.
Okay, good, good. So I'm going to say that for you. And I think you're actually, a lot of us are going to be better off than we were before, because we're using technology more. I'm not so sure I'm thrilled about that because I'm not very techy, but it really opens up our world, right? Internationally and not just locally, but internationally. So, and I think clients are going to have to get used to more of this approach. It's not ideal. And many of my clients want to say, Natasha, are you open for business yet? And I'm going, not just yet. I'm waiting till July 15th. So, I think we're all going to have to adapt for the next little while.
Right.
Okay. Well, good luck. I'm going to say blessings. Not, I don't believe in luck. So blessings for a very successful practice, Peggy, and thank you for coming on.
Thank you as
So
well.
you're very welcome. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about why you might be feeling stuck. And it's I think, a very misunderstood kind of state of mind. A lot of people, of course, do know what they want, but they're afraid of the unknown. Um, you've got. I believe that before you came to this life, we all wrote a movie script for ourselves, what we were going to do in life, the major visiting points. I always knew I was going to write a book, for example. And that is embedded in our subconscious and our soul. So really, we do know. And when I press my clients, say, well, if you did know, what would it be? And people say, no, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. That's a confusion and it's a smokescreen. So it's like saying, I do know, but I don't want to know. Thank you very much. Because there's a fear, either of failure or success. And depending on how you've been programmed by your family, oh, you can't be a writer. Who do you think you are? You're not good enough. So that comes up a lot. And that stops us dead in our tracks, because it's either a conscious or a subconscious thought. So you may want to just start writing out like 100 things that you'd love to do if you had the ability, all the money and the freedom in the world. What would be 100 things you'd love to do? And you might kind of start to struggle once you get to around number 60. But when you look at this list, go deep, 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 deep with it and pick out the first 5 things that are really the most exciting and maybe even scary for you, because that will probably be your answer to what you really want to be doing. Another reason why you might be feeling stuck, and this happens a lot, is you're carrying some unresolved grief. some pain from behind, from the past, and maybe somebody died on you and you didn't get to express that grief, or you're still feeling it. Maybe when you were growing up, nobody ever listened to you when you were feeling pain, and so you've kind of stuffed it down, and you're still carrying around uh, all of it in your being, and it's like you're full. You're full up to the brim. So before you can take on anything new, you're going to need to resolve that grief and put it away in its filing cabinet, so you can make room for new things and have the energy and the enthusiasm and the inspiration to say, okay, I'm going to start this business now, and this is what I'm going to do. So that is probably the most common reason why people feel stuck. So if you're looking at yourself, ask yourself, is there anything I need to really grieve? Is there anything that I need to complete or finish off? Am I still feeling guilty, remorseful about anything? How can I make peace with that? The third one, and this is universally true, which is scary of all of us, it's the I'm not good enough syndrome. So, I love singing, and I was always told, oh, shut up. My brothers would really hush me up. So I got the message very clearly, Natasha, you can't sing. And I thought, I'm still secretly thinking I'll take singing lessons because I love singing. I love music, makes me feel good, even if I'm just singing in the shower. So that's an example. I was also told by my sister, and I don't know if this is true, she's just been mean to me, that my English teacher had told her when I'd written this story, she she told me, my sister told me, the teacher said, oh, you can't write, let's ask your sister to tell this same story. So I had the message in my head that I'm not a writer, but I had this burning desire to write. And as you can see from the 3 books behind me that I've published, I am a writer, and I've just finishing number 5 actually, which I'm in the process of. So don't let anybody else's opinions hold you back. Really question their motives. Are they jealous? Do they see themselves as limited themselves? So they think you must be limited. And I just said this to my husband the other day, walk around saying, I'm one of the best. I'm one of the best. Or maybe you are the best. So reaffirm that you're very capable, that you're good enough. And if you're feeling in your soul that this is what you really want to do, you have to remember that that gift is going to be given to you from the universe, or you've chosen it as part of your script before you came here. So it's what you're meant to be doing. So give yourself permission. And I had a beautiful story of a client who came to me, and she was probably in her 50s or even early 60s. And I said, you should be dancing. And she started crying. She said, oh, no, I can't dance. I can't dance. And I said, well, why don't you just take up dancing lessons and just see how it feels? And she sent me an email a couple of months later, and she said, oh, Natasha, thank you so much. I started dancing. I feel much happier. I'm exercising. I'm meeting some great people. And she discovered that she's a good dancer. So it doesn't matter what age you are, you can begin it now. So I'm just going to ask my next client to come on for their reading. And there she is, Vanessa. Hi.
Hi, Natasha. How are you?
I'm doing very well in this COVID crisis. It seems to be suiting me, actually, the slowing down of the pace, getting lots of stuff done, as you well know. So what would be your question for today, Vanessa?
Well, it's kind of funny. I came in here with a question in mind, but as you were talking about grief, I actually started feeling this kind of constriction in my chest, and I was wondering if maybe you can pick up on anything with that.
Okay. Well, Vanessa, I should explain that I know Vanessa. We work together. She's highly intuitive herself. Sometimes she gives me little messages too. We've got a mutual adoration club going on here. And I know that in the last couple of years, you've really blossomed. I feel like you've really, really blossomed in terms of your self-expression. I do feel there's still some work to be done in that area, there's some heartache, right? Some heartache. And that's just you not giving yourself permission, like we just said, of really putting it all out there and seeing yourself as this, beautiful, well, you're a beautiful spirit, there's no doubt about that. But, what you can really contribute towards the world in terms of creativity, intuition, coaching people to be the best that they can be. I know you certainly hold my hand on many a day with my technology, and I'm going, thank God for Vanessa. But there's so much more to you that still wants to come out and blossom. And I wouldn't say you're stuck in that though, Vanessa, because I think you're in process. And I know that over the few years I've known you, I've seen you go, boom, go from, it's almost like you're going across this big raging river and there are these stepping stones and you're on the middle stone and you still got a few to step onto yet. And you can see them and you kind of know kind of what it looks like. And it's a little bit scary, I think, for you because, and I would say, God, give me guts when I'm looking ahead and going, oh my God, can I really do that? Right? So it's like you're doing something that I talk a lot about is you're waiting till you're emotionally ready to make the next leap and step onto the next stone. So we're not going to do all this at once. It's taken time to accumulate this pain, and it's going to take time to release it and become aware of what it means and what the gift in it is, because as we've talked about many times, there are gifts in our challenges, whatever the challenges are, and our restrictions. I've had, as you know, I would say if my mother had been psycho, I wouldn't be psychic. And there was lots of hell in that, restrictions in that, but also lots of gifts. So looking at what you've gone through, the challenges, and saying, okay, what could be the gift of that challenge? And I'm going to claim that gift. And then when you're ready to do that, then you'll leap to the next stone. And I think over the next 2 years, you're really going to not reach your peak, because we never reach our peak, we just keep on evolving, but you're going to reach a level where you feel, okay, I'm good now. And I'm going to keep moving along this path. It's like you've arrived at a place where you're ready to really get going, right?
Yeah.
But you won't be feeling any more pain then. So that'll be good. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, it does. And I was getting chills as you were talking about it. So
Yeah. And there's something to do with a dog. I know you've got a dog now, but did you lose a dog as well?
When I was younger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a black dog? I feel like a black dog with you.
Yeah.
Right? Did it get run over? Did it die suddenly or something?
It died suddenly.
Yeah. I feel there's still grief around your dog. So you may want to revisit that.
Okay.
And just maybe write the dog a letter.
Okay.
And just see what bubbles up for you. Because, dog spirits hang around a lot too. They love us. They never leave us. They go to doggy heaven, then they come back and still are hanging out with us.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing, Vanessa.
Thanks, Natasha.
You're welcome. And go get him, girlfriend. Okay. So I just want to talk a little bit about the COVID as well. There's so many opportunities here. I think I'm hearing people talk and all my clients that are calling me, and it's so interesting. I feel there's a big divide. Some people are really into this conspiracy thing, and it's like I'm not watching any of the videos or not going there anymore, because I'm saying to people, we are choosing our reality now. This is the whole point. I think we're in ascension. We're going from one frequency to a much higher frequency. I was told in 1985, I got a channeling that the earth would go through this rapid acceleration and amplification of energy. And it's funny, last year I was doing these videos and I was talking about that and saying, the faster we move, the more we need to slow down. And then COVID happened, and it's like stopped us dead in our tracks and going, whoa, maybe we're moving too fast and we need to stop and take a breath. And there might be a second wave, and then we're going to go back inside again and take another breath. And there might be 3 stages to this thing, but I'm going to see each one as a gift and an opportunity to revisit, how am I being, how am I thinking, how am I feeling, how am I doing in my life, what am I contributing? So I think if we all come from this place of not victim of some bigger conspiracy, some negative Nellas are putting out there, but seeing this as an opportunity, I feel we are protected at this time. The light workers are coming into their power actually. And because we know that from our thoughts and our feelings and our perceptions, we can choose our reality. So we can see danger lurking at every corner, or we can say, yeehaw, the birds are singing, I'm growing my own vegetables. We're going for walks on trails that we never knew existed before. It's like a whole other world has opened up. And that's available to everybody if they so choose. So ask yourself, are you victim or are you creator? Because nothing really exists until we give it focus. And that I find really interesting. That is a law of quantum physics. So what do you want to experience? Choose it, whether it's greater abundance, better health. Maybe you've enjoyed this time of rest and you say, I think I want to keep doing this. Maybe you've had to let go of some friends who you've discovered aren't selfish, and they've been going out and just spreading it and not really caring, or they don't agree with you. So it's kind of an interesting time to sort through and do this cleanse as we go from this frequency to the higher frequency where it's lighter, brighter, and much happier, dare I say. So I think I'm going to choose my next person to be read, and it's the lovely Leona.
Hello.
And Leona, hi Leona, thank you for coming on. And I know that you teach wonderful belly dancing, and what have you been doing during COVID?
I'm teaching.
I'm still teaching, okay.
Still teaching. Been teaching belly dance and yoga online. So not as much. And yeah, I wanted to just create safe space, that distraction for people during this strange time, to give some focus routine to myself, but to also give that distraction to other people.
Right.
Because we're all coping and dealing with this differently.
Yes. Okay. So I know that you when you emailed me, I went, oh, Leona's going to go through a big change. And I think many of us are, of course. This is nothing about being psychic, but I want to say to you, have you thought about moving away from Kelowna?
No.
No? Okay. It feels like there's going to be quite a drastic change for you. And I'm not too sure if it feels like you're still in the same kind of area of the business that you do, physical movement, and very much about, I want to say the feminine. And I know belly dancing's a lot about releasing the feminine, right? And really owning our sexuality and loving it. And I love that you do that, because I think that's a big part of being empowered, especially in the feminine. But I feel like there's going to be an opportunity, and I'm going to say, I think it's this July, Leona, but you know me and my timing. It's very hard to tell. And so I'm very cautious with that, because in the spirit realm, there is no time, it's just space. And again, you have to be emotionally ready for any change that you're going to make or do. But it feels like, again, July, that I could see you, maybe you're just going down to the coast for a visit or something, but I feel there's an opportunity coming to you, and somebody making you an offer. Say they had a very big yoga studio, or online business is going off the chart right now, and somebody says, oh, come and join us on our online group or company. And I feel it's exciting. I think you're like, yay, you're excited about it. And it's definitely I see you working with other people. I don't know if you work by yourself right now, but it feels like there's a much bigger group around you. You're part of a much bigger entity. And I think you feel like you've gone up a few notches in terms of your business status, so people are noticing you and what you do, and they like you. And there might be some training involved in this. So say it is maybe it's Google saying, come on, we're starting an online yoga thing. And I feel like they want you, this company, whoever it is, want to train you. It might be just training you how to present yourself online or market. I mean, there's lots to that, of course. And you don't mind because you feel like you're getting more and more professional. Not that you're not professional now, and I don't mean to say that either, but it's like you're going with the big people, right? You're going with the big.
Yeah.
So I feel there's going to be a move, or maybe it's you're still here, but you have to go. I see you driving in your car, and it feels like the coast. It could be Kamloops for all I know, but it feels like you're going down to the coast, and you're happy to do that. And it's going to, like Peggy, it's going to give you some kind of reassurance of income. So should this happen again, say should another virus pop up or we get wave 4 or whatever, you go, I'm good, I can still keep doing this. And I think this is what one of the gifts of this virus has been, is to make us rethink who we are, our relationships, and how we communicate. And I know online isn't the same as in person at all, but thank God we have technology and we can still at least carry on to a degree. So I think it's going to be a feather in your cap, I want to say. A feather in your cap. Now, you have children, don't you?
I do.
Yes, you have 2 or 3, I forget.
2.
2, yes. And is one of them, how old are they again, if you can remind me, Liana, please?
They are 14 and 17 now.
Yes, yes. I think it's a 14-year-old. Is she a girl? Is that a girl?
He's a boy.
Boy. Okay. Boy, because I feel like there's something about this move that is a bit of a challenge, and I think it's for the 14-year-old. And I don't think there's something about the schooling, of course, you know, how difficult it is at that age. So it might be, I don't see you pulling him out of school, but there might be a challenge with one of the children around schooling. So I'm not too sure what that is, but you know, the bigger picture is really good, and you're going to be happy. In my experience, all the people that are doing healing work, empowering work, light work, they're really been taken care of. So I'm going to say the same thing I said to Vanessa or Peggy, or maybe all of you, is just to really relax into this and view. I don't think you are stuck. I think you're in transition, actually, and the ending has come. Hi, Suzanne. Somebody saying hi to me. The transition, you're in transition. The ending has kind of come in a way, but the new beginning hasn't begun yet. So you're going, what's going to happen to me, kind of thing. So be patient, and I think just keep doing what you're doing. I think you're absolutely on the right path. Let me ask you this. Have you enjoyed having more time with your children?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've enjoyed that the shift, the transition, that I'm not running in 10 different directions. So I have found blessings and gratitude in every day, even during COVID. I mean, there's definitely been the not so many blessings, but I've definitely found, I found gratitude in what COVID has brought into my life. And it's just had coming out of it, where am I going? Because my life has completely changed. So.
Yes. I think you've been building. I think what you've been doing so far, you've been laying foundations and building. And I see you smiling. Does that make sense to you?
It does. I've been
Yeah.
working hard over the last few years.
Yeah, haven't we all? And I think it's gratifying to see how many people are grateful for. It's like we push the pause button and oh, thank God, I get to step off the treadmill. My mother actually, before she went kind of loop-de-loo, used to say, stop the world, I want to get off. And I was thinking that recently, and I thought, oh, I hope I'm not that powerful and made it stop. I don't think so at all. But, it was kind of like that. So I think we all needed to take a breath and really, and us healers too. I don't know about you, anybody that's working in this profession. I feel I've been inundated the last few years, and all that negative energy and all that resistance to growth has been hard. So it was very nice for me just to take a pause and catch my breath. and come back to it with renewed energy. And we're not back at it quite yet. So I'm going to say the rest of this year might be for you, Leona, a chance to really just gradually keep, doing what you're doing, polishing it, finessing it. The other thing I was going to ask you, have I ever mentioned to you writing a book?
Yes.
Yes, because I'm getting that one too. And, a book is just really sometimes a business card for what you do. And sometimes it can be, the great Canadian novel. But I'm feeling like something for you around that, but not till the fall. So if we get another shutdown in the fall, you know what you got to do. Start writing that book.
All right.
Okay. Any other questions?
I don't think so. It was just nice to see your face again.
Yeah, you too. You're so beautiful. And keep dancing.
I
I'll
will.
follow you. I'll follow you. I'll follow
All
you.
right. Okay.
Okay. Thanks for coming on and thanks for
Thanks,
sharing.
Natasha.
Yeah, no. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye. So, what I like to talk about is, and I said this to my husband the other day too, let's have a new dream. We've just been relaxing into this, our restrictions, and personally I've been okay with it. It's given me a chance to have more time for my writing, to do my Facebook Live. I love reaching out to people. In fact, I just want to say hello to some people. Carol Rogers. Hi, Carol. I might have time to address your question. I know you wanted to be on today and couldn't, so I'll get to you in a second. Delana from the island. Hi, Delana. Lovely to see your name there. And Melanie from the island. I seem to have a lot of island people. Suzanne, and of course Gary's up in Vernon. So it's lovely to see some familiar names. And just a reminder to everybody, I am doing this once a month, the last Friday of every month. So the next one will be June 26th. If you want to email me and let me know if you want to be actually on the show, or you can just ask me a question as you write in and I'll respond to it either with just your first name. So you don't have to be divulging any big secrets here. So, what gifts have you discovered during this time? I've just reaffirmed that yes, I love writing. It's my other passion. It's kind of balances. I give out energy while I'm healing, and when I'm writing, it's like it's feeding me in some way. Both feed me as well, and both are creative expressions. So, have you discovered something? Perhaps you're discovered a teaching talent while you've had to take care of your kids while you've been at home, or you've found that you actually love gardening, or that you'd like to grow vegetables and become a volunteer at the food bank. What have you discovered about yourself? What do you think the gift is? And again, I want to go back to the challenge, because hidden in the challenge is a gift. So while we've had a restriction, it's given us time to really reconnect with ourselves, have a connection, and look at how we behaved during this time. I know it's not over yet, but we've had 2-3 months of it now, so we're kind of getting an idea. I was shocked that I didn't really miss traveling in the beginning, because I'm a big traveler. I used to be a flight attendant. You can't tie me down for too long, but I was very content just to stay put and just have this quiet time. And I didn't want to talk to a whole lot of people all the time. I just had my days when I wanted to be still, and I was very content with that. So when this is over and I go back into quote normal, I'm going to incorporate those days when I just do nothing, maybe, or maybe when I just spend time in my garden, or just have another day of writing. So what have you discovered is a thing that you love to do that you weren't maybe doing before? Maybe you want to turn that gift into a new business, and so you don't know how to begin. So next week, if you come on, Caroline Williamson will help you with that. Or maybe you've got a business like me and you've been trucking along on a kind of a grind, and maybe you just want to change the way you do it. Like the ladies that have been on before, they're all self-employed, they're all doing healing work or empowering work, but maybe we've got to revamp how we do it or who we deal with. Maybe there's a whole new market out there that we never thought doing. So when you sit down, maybe write the script of your life that you've had so far. Imagine that you're the writer, movie producer of your own movie. And here I am, this age, this date, 2020, and this is what it's been so far. Um, and But now, from here on in, because we have choice now, because we're in the quantum, we're creating a new reality, we're operating from a much higher frequency that's much less physical, and it's much lighter and brighter. So it's much more to do with thought and heart and emanating vibration. Whatever we emanate, we're going to attract as well. So remember, you are in charge of your own reality. You are in charge of what happens to you, and you are in charge of how you perceive it. So remember, if you receive with gratitude, you're going to feel good about that. Okay, I think I've got Melody who's waiting for a reading. Is that true? Hi, Melody.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for being so patient.
Oh,
I know you've had to sit there and listen. So what would be your question be today, Melody?
So I guess I'm a little bit different. I'm not as spiritual, connected,
Yeah.
whatever, but I feel like I'm just existing at this point.
Oh, okay.
Basically the last few months you've come up with conclusions about yourself, but it's just now I need to move ahead. I got no place to go.
Okay. Okay.
I'm stuck.
Okay. Okay. So, let me just tune in and see. Okay, that's interesting. Do you like taking care of other people, like coaching or teaching or counseling?
Yeah.
You do, yeah. Have you ever done any of that kind of work before?
Somewhat, because I volunteer with the Red Cross in disasters, so.
Okay, beautiful.
So I'm doing
Beautiful.
contract work for them an hour a day, but that's
Okay. Are you enjoying that?
yes, but it's only an hour.
Okay. Because what I'm getting for you, this is a complete new direction for you. And this is interesting, Melody, because when I was talking about grief, were you able to relate to that at all?
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah, because I want to say you need a kind of a year, you actually need another year where you are really getting in contact with yourself. And I think the volunteering is perfect for you because I think it's giving a taste of what your gift is to the world. And I think you've got this real sense of no nonsense. Come on, let's get on with it. We can get this done. You got a very different style to me. Everybody has their own style, right? And you say, come on, put your big coat panties on. We're going to go and do this, right?
Exactly. Yeah, me.
That's who you are. And that's beautiful because I feel the people that you help really love that about you and really benefit from you. And I feel that you're going to become a coach, a counselor, maybe it's life coaching. I don't know if you're ready to do a course. I'm feeling you're still in grief about something. And you might be still in grief about a few things that have compounded. So if you go to my YouTube channel, again, I've done a few things on grief. And I talk about how if we don't deal, say your dog died when you were 5, or your parents, and then your parents got divorced when you were 7, and then your best friend moved away, and you were crying. Your parents said, "I had a mother." You say, "Oh, shut up crying, or else I'll give you something to cry about." I mean, I think it's horrible to say that to a child, but that was the era then. It's like we had to, we weren't given room or space or any compassion to feel what we were feeling. So we shut down. And I feel you're one of these people. I don't know if you'd agree with me that you were brought up in that kind of environment, maybe not the same,
Yeah.
but you now, however young you are now, you need to bring that out and say, I'm going to take care of the 4-year-old Melody. I'm going to take care of the 7-year-old Melody. I'm going to take care of the 10-year-old Melody. And you need to grieve each one of those separately. And as you come through the grief, and what the grief is validating, saying, yes, that hurt. Yes, I was lonely. Yes, I was not heard. I was abandoned in that. And just tell it to somebody, or you write yourself a letter, tell it to yourself, and you really have compassion for yourself in that, and have a good bawling session. Have a damn good cry is what I would say. However, or you can go for a grief counselor. The other technique which the Buddhists support is you write the story 3 times. The first as it happened to you in all its gory detail. The second as if it happened to somebody else. So Melody was walking down the street with her dog and the dog ran out in traffic and got run over, God forbid. And then the third one as if it's the funniest thing that ever happened to you. And when you can get to the third one, and I notice how much I laugh about, how my mother treated me and the gong show that was, right? That showed me that I was at a place where it happened. It wasn't fun at the time, but I'd released it and it's now on the shelf. I remember it, but I'm not attached to it emotionally anymore. It can't trigger me anymore. And that's when you know that you've really arrived at, yes, that happened, but it's just something that happened. And you've detached emotionally, and then you've got the room to move forward with new ventures. And I just feel with you, you've probably got anger and rage and depression and fatigue and all that kind of stuff going on inside of you because you haven't had somebody, or you haven't been ready maybe to grieve them properly. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, but I've been working through that.
You have, yeah.
But I guess being there are going, I'm going to say again, stuck. You're in a place where you got nowhere meeting anybody, so you don't.
Right. So I'm going to suggest, Melody, and this is just, I don't know if you know that I do this. I'm pretty sure you do. I do quantum healing.
Yes, you've done it with me.
Right.
Yeah.
So it may be that we need to, keep moving that forward because it's not always done in just 2 hours, like a, flick of the fingers kind of thing. Yeah. It's a starting process. So, I've done it sometimes with some clients 3 times, and then they've completely transformed their lives. And it's amazing. And it takes as long as it takes. It's not I'm not as good as this person, or I'm different from this person. It's however long it takes you because it's your journey.
Yeah.
Right. And what you've got to grieve. So I'm going to suggest that. I think ultimately I'm going to be writing a book on grief because in this culture we really suck at it. We're told to suck it up and get over it. And especially during this COVID, you've obviously experienced loss of not having company, not feeling connected to anybody. So, you might want to, this is just a suggestion, if you're up for it, you may want to think of people that are on their own and reach out to them and say, hey, how you doing? If you feel up for it. Some days I don't want to talk to anybody. Some days I want to talk to everybody, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I think of all the people that are on their own, it's like, well, maybe they'd appreciate a phone call, right? And just the sharing can really minimize and really break down, the negative feelings that we're feeling, just like, oh, everybody's just like me. Just like me. Really,
yeah.
You represent 90% of the world right now, Melody. 90% of the world. So it's, to me, I don't want anybody to feel the pain I'm feeling, but sometimes that's comforting. You go, it's like, oh, it's not just me then, right? I'm not going crazy. Everybody else is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I've had to remind myself of that, right? And going, okay, so if everybody's feeling this, what could I do to lift it up? What could I do to change it into, just to tweak it to a slightly higher frequency to somebody else? And then always the feedback of that is a positive for you. It feels good. Do you think you'd be able to do that?
Try.
Yeah.
So you can do
I mean, I'm not saying this is what you got to do, Melody. I'm suggesting something like this, that when you reach out to others, it kind of empowers you because you go, well, there's my value at least, right?
Yeah, I mean, those are things that I've been trying to do.
Yeah, good.
There were some people going through the same thing, so.
Right. Also, do you paint at all?
No.
No, that's what I get.
Yeah.
But I'm getting, now the stores are opening up, or order on Amazon or whatever. I'm feeling you painting, and I feel like I want you to get some really, maybe watercolor oils, whatever. This is just, I know, this is exploration. This is having fun. This is like being a 4 or 5-year-old and maybe even finger painting. But I feel like somebody's telling me that you need to just play with creativity. And, I've thought about doing this myself actually, but had no time because I've actually been really busy. But for you to just be like a 4 or 5-year-old in kindergarten and just having all the paints and just splashing color on paper and seeing what comes out of you. And you're going,
I can paint them all.
I have to tell you, I've given this advice to quite a few people over the years, and they've looked at me like you did, like, I don't think so, Natasha. And then they come back to me and look at my paintings, right? So I just feel like I want you to express in some way and unlock what you have inside of you, Melody, because I feel like you've got a very big heart and you've got this common sense approach and you've got this very practical advice, support that you can give to people. And you've got a sense of humor, I know you do, and is to start sharing that and to almost build yourself up from ground zero and just keep adding like bricks of value. So, I'm a giver, I'm a comforter, I'm a reassurer, I'm an empowerer, and just keep building on those bricks and write them down somewhere, or, paint bricks and put something on them so where you can see them and stick it on your fridge to remind you on a daily basis of your value. Because what I'm hearing you say right now is like, well, I'm just taking up space here. What am I doing here? Yeah. But you're not. You are a healer in waiting, I want to say. But you can begin it now. Whatever you're emotionally ready for. And the other thing that happens is when we do that, we get healed as well. Because by having somebody else's pain, we have our own. It's an interesting dynamic, but that's the way it works.
Yeah, no, definitely.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope that helps a little bit. Yep. So let's talk in the near future again.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for coming on, Melody. Okay. Take care. God bless you. I don't think any.
I have a question from Deb Peipenberg.
Okay.
She says, I have a question. My boyfriend's twins are very difficult and do not treat me or him with any respect. Is there anything we can do to turn things around?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Debbie, I feel like this requires a longer response, but I'm just going to check in here and just put some possible scenarios out there, that things that might be going on. Of course, depending on their age, if they're already in the teen years, it always makes it more challenging, I feel, to become the stepmom, or if you are that, or the step-girlfriend, whatever you consider yourself to be. Depends on the relationship with their mother and their father. And I think this goes deeper, but I always recommend having a conversation with them where you just really ask them questions and really, really listen to what's going on with them. Because it sounds like they're angry and they're resentful of something, and that's coming out in this disrespect. So are they being listened to, or are they being told what to do? And so I was a stepmother, and I would have at mealtime, I would sit down with these kids, and fortunately they were under 11, 3 under 11, so slightly easier, but they were angry sometimes at their mum, and they would take it out on me. So you're just telling me they just turned 18. Thank you for that information. And they would take it out on me because I was the one that was there and their mother wasn't. So sometimes the anger is kind of diverted, not towards the parent that they should be angry with, but the parents that are there. But I think if you can have an adult conversation. The other thing I encourage people to do is write letters to one another, because that's non-confrontational, and to be respectful in the letter, to do what I call the sandwich letter. So start out with, I appreciate that you are the sons of my boyfriend. I appreciate your twins and that you're in my life. You know, we've come together in this way. There is a reason why we've come together. There will be a gift in this. However, I feel disrespected. This is the middle of the sandwich. It's a negative, and owning how you're feeling. Not saying you do this and you do that. I'm feeling disrespected. I don't understand why. I'd really love to have a lovely relationship with you. Can you please give me guidance? And then thanking them for their response when they feel like responding, and giving them the opportunity to write back to you and be kind, hopefully, as much as possible. But just to get to the bottom, and they may not even know themselves why they're feeling angry. I'm getting this kind of dynamic between the three adults here, that there's been something going on and they haven't been heard in some way, and they're feeling frustrated and angry, and they're feeling disrespected. So guess what, they're going to do some disrespecting. That's my first hit on that. But if you want to email me, if I'm missing the mark there, but maybe try that in the beginning just to see what their response is, to find out who they're really angry at and why, and then say, how can I support you in us having a nicer relationship, because I'm going to be around, so we may as well enjoy this time. And also ask them, what is the gift in this? I know they're maybe not comfortable in some way, be resentful in some way. A lot of times when couples split up and get divorced, the kids are not asked how they feel, or they're just ignored in some way and say, oh, they're fine, they'll get over it. And my parents got divorced, and I talked to so many of my clients who've been divorced, and it's a pain that never goes away, whether they're good or bad parents. So we've got to respect how kids feel more in these changing times, because it's a lot for them to cope with. And if the anger rises up, it's going to come out in rudeness, disrespectful, and eventually abuse. So we want to nip that in the bud. So Deb says, that's a great idea. Thank you. Very well. Welcome, Deb. If I can be of any further support to you, because I've kind of been on that end of things. And fortunately, I had a great relationship with my kids, I hope. And we were friends. We ended up being friends, and I always supported them in being with their mother, contacting their mother, never kept them. In fact, I used to invite their mother over to our house for dinner so we could all be together, and we could teach them that although their parents had split up, it doesn't mean to say it's the end of that family. In fact, we're expanding the family, and they were, I think, very happy about that. And I hope it taught them that this is the way you can deal with it. It wasn't comfortable for us in the beginning, but we got over ourselves and we did it for the kids. And that was, I was very proud of that in the end. So I hope that helps. Okay. So I don't know if anybody has any more questions, but Carol Rogers wrote to me, said she'd love to be on, and she had a question. She's in the process of building a house. So of course, COVID come along and it's put everything on hold. And Carol has commented here, I found that I don't actually hate yard work, and I'm not a horrible gardener. Isn't that great? I know there's a lot to learn in gardening, and I love it too. And it feels very good to get dirty, get the hands in the soil. They say it's very good therapy for us, so that's good. But to answer your question, Carol, about you asked about the do you have the right contractor yet? I know you've spoken to several people. I feel that you got the right contractor in the mix. And I feel I kind of get, I don't know if I'm confusing C with contractor, but I feel like there's a letter C around it. And I feel like this guy is, I don't know if it's Charles. I'm not sure. I'm hearing Charles somewhere, but that might be to do with something else. But I feel like you've already met the right contractor, and he is a little bit more pricey than the other ones. But I feel that he's very efficient. So, and I think you'll get that feeling from this contractor. This person knows what they're doing. They're a little bit more expensive up front, but because they're efficient, they save time down the road. because I know how expensive that can get. They go beyond budget and time and that kind of thing. So I don't know if that helps you. I'm feeling C. I feel like he's in the mix somewhere. I don't know if it's the one you're looking at right now. I feel like it could be somebody behind that person. But, trust. You are very intuitive, Carol. So I'm just going to say sit with it, meditate on it, and just when it feels right, and maybe it's not the right time to make that decision just yet, because this is part of the getting unstuck process, is realizing that we actually don't need to make decisions. We all kind of go into this rushing thing. Oh, I've got to know right now. You don't. Everything happens in the right time, the right place, and the right sequence. So I would just release it actually to the universe and just say the right contractor will become evident to me. In fact, his name will be up in a neon sign in one of my dreams. And I will have the conviction of knowing I've chosen the right person. So I hope that helps. So finally, I just want to talk very quickly about the law of conviction. We talk about the law of attraction. And I've been teaching manifesting for a long time, and I have been manifesting for a long time. But a lot of people will say, oh, Natasha, I've tried this manifesting business and it didn't work for me. Well, I think we're all good at asking for what we want, but do we really deserve to receive it? So I've, of course, probably like many of you have had the thought, oh, I'd love to win the lottery, but do I have the conviction that I deserve to receive it? So conviction is a completely different feeling. And when I manifest something, I can tell if I'm really wanting to have this gift being given to me from the universe, whether it's $10,000 or a new home or 50,000 more clients. Is that what I really, really want? I can feel it in my being, and I know if it's really mine or not. So if you're asking, you're manifesting, and you're focusing on that, make sure that whatever you want to create in your new dream, you've got the conviction of it. Envision it, visualize it. Does it feel right? Does it feel like it's yours? Do you feel you deserve it? Because if you don't feel like you deserve it, it's going to go right on by. And if you don't feel like you deserve it, work on your deservability and say, of course I deserve to win $1 million and take the rest of my life off if that's what you really want. On the other side of what you're attracting or working on attracting in your dream, you may think you want it and find out, gosh, I really don't. Do you really want to be rich and famous? Maybe you don't want the responsibilities that go with that. I know I've dreamed of some things for a long time and thought, you know what? If I really had that, I don't think I'd like the responsibility that goes with it. So that's why it hasn't manifested. So I'm going to leave you with that question. What do you think you really deserve? And in one of my next YouTube videos, I'm going to be focusing on that. So I want to thank everybody that came on, everybody that came visited on this Facebook Live. This is a lot of fun. I love doing this. And I want to do a shout out, of course, especially now to the frontline workers, because I'm sure they're holding their breath, wondering how many and when the second wave is going to take place, and if it's, have we waited long enough? But I'm following the method of, or the advice of Dr. Bonnie Henry, and I'm listening to my intuition, and I'm not opening up in-person readings until June 15th, if it's still okay. I may kind of pull the rug from under people and say, sorry, we're just going to do Zoom or phone, but those are available. I want to thank all the people that have been very respectful and stayed home and followed the rules. It hasn't been easy for any of us, but it's all taken a bit of courage and a bit of sacrifice, but obviously in BC at least, it's been very worth it. So I thank all the people of BC, Vancouver and Kelowna especially, for being unselfish and staying home. And then I want to finish this program with a little meditation that I haven't done in a couple of weeks. And this is just to ask you to close your eyes, take a nice deep breath in through the nose and the mouth. Exhale through the mouth and imagine that beautiful rose crystal bowl just floating above your lap. And anything that you don't want in your body at this time, whether it be physical pain, tension, angst, depression, fatigue, feeling stuck, any of the lower frequency emotions, separation, loneliness, or fear. Just take a nice deep breath in of happiness and breathe out all the lower frequency energies, all those negative emotions into that bowl. Nice deep breath in again. And we're going to ask your guides and angels to remove those lower frequencies from you and just fill you with this lovely light and joy, and reminding you that you are who you are going to become already, that everything is waiting to be realized when you are emotionally ready for it. Just relax into this time. You are not stuck. You are not in a void. You are just resting and relaxing and waiting for your dream to manifest. And it will come to you at the right time and place when all the pieces are in place for you. Know that you are loved, guided, and protected always. And you all have a very special mission on this planet. But at the moment, the planet is asking you just to rest and relax and wait for direction. Amen. So be it, and so it is. Namaste.